Netflix is walking away from its deal to buy Warner Brothers Discovery's studio and streaming assets, declining to match a higher offer from Paramount Skydance. Charlie Gaspino is here with the details. Charlie, credit where credit is due. You've been on this one and you've been right.
So 6 o'clock last night, put up my tweet. Do you have it? I tweeted out that it was a done deal. There we go. Boom. I also said it was rumors. I hate doing rumors, but this is a rumor from a great source. And then I was like, I remember when I did that, it reminded me of the time when I had a great tip that the U.S. government was going to bail out all the firms and start TARP during the financial crisis. And I remember the 5 minutes before they confirmed it, I was sweating on the floor praying that it happened because the market just moved like 700 points. Wow. And that's what I did here. So that it didn't. I had it from a good source. I tweeted out. I remember getting on my knees, praying to the good Lord, and I'm sweating. Then 10 minutes later, boom, pops.
And you tweeted, "My bunny has a good nose."
Yes, I did. So that's what happened. Okay, that was then. But we foreshadowed this on the show last week on Tuesday.
Yes, what happened in Washington?
Ted Sarandos Mr. Sarandos goes to Washington, the CEO, met with, now this was a tell. He wanted to meet with Trump. He couldn't get the meeting with Trump. He met with Susie Wiles, the chief of staff. He met with Pam Bondi, the head of the DOJ, because she runs the DOJ Antitrust division. He met with some antitrust people. And I had heard during the day it didn't really go well. And you knew it wasn't. They don't believe his main thesis that he was trying to sell them on the fact that, well, if you layer two big streamers, he's number one, Warner Bros. Discovery's streamer, number three, huge, HBO Max. It's not an antitrust concern, because guess what? We have competition from YouTube. He also had to appease the Trump administration, Republicans in general, that making them bigger and stronger wouldn't skew the cultural landscape even more progressive. Netflix is hated, and we said this, by Republicans for running these very left-of-center documentaries, programming. They came out during 2020, big-time part of the social justice movement. And then lo and behold, right as Trump was weighing and the administration's weighing this stuff, Susan Rice, a partisan Democrat, former national security advisor for Obama, comes out and tweets something nasty about Trump. And any company that deals with Trump, you will pay retribution. Right in the middle of this. I can't believe she's still on the board of Netflix. And then, so you saw that he had to answer all that. I heard it wasn't good. And then that's when you kind of knew the end was near. And then you saw it drip by drip. Warner Brothers came out. Remember, at first they said, we think the latest salvo from Paramount Skydance, run by the Elsons, including Larry Ellison, who's a friend of Trump, at the latest bid, $31 a share, $80.5 billion. They initially said, we think it's reasonably better. And they came out and said, it's definitely reasonably better. Netflix has 4 days to match. Once they came out with that, it was pretty clear that the end was near.
Are they overpaying?
Everybody's overpaying. I don't think totally, because if you notice, they only paid $31 a share. Their initial instinct was to go to 33. The reason why they didn't was a combination of factors. Jerry Cardinal, who runs Redbird Media and Redbird Capital, and he's one of the best media deal guys period in the business, and Larry Ellison weighed in. We don't have to overpay. We think the $30 a share is still better than Netflix, which it was. The deal metrics on Netflix's valuation was pretty funky. $20.75 a share for just the streaming and the studio. Plus, they were guaranteeing investors another $3 to $4 a share on the spinoff of CNN, which if you looked at the metrics, they might have gotten one. So it just didn't add up. He knew he was getting both of them, Larry and Cardinal, knew they were getting investors like Mario Gabelli to side with them. And then it was the regulatory hurdles that they knew was in their side, so they didn't have to pay more than $31 a share in the end. And it's essentially what happened. I mean, and then Netflix, literally on cue, folds when that meeting in Washington is over. It was, to me, it was fascinating. I think we talked about this. It's a book.
Yeah.
George Clooney's playing me.
We're still working on the Clooney part there. Yeah, we're working
I'm not
on
sure.
that. Discussions
The
are happening.
shareholders would say, I think today they would agree with Netflix stock jumping. It was a nice to
Right.
have, not a need to have.
By the way,
Do you stand by that?
Yes, Netflix stock went down $200 billion. Okay, so who's the real winner? Let's look at winners and losers.
David Zaslav.
Well, I was going to say Sarandos is both a winner and a loser. He shouldn't have went there. He backed off. That's a winner, but he shouldn't have gone there. And by the way, he still might be facing a monopoly investigation because he went there.
Right.
That's not good. Who else is a loser? Well, Susan Rice.
Oh, losers first? Okay.
Screwed that
yeah.
up. Screwed the pooch, as they say, right, in the old days. Who's a winner? Well, Paramount Skydance is a winner. They needed this to build out their media empire.
Yeah, and the stock is double digits to the upside today.
Paramount's that's interesting because usually when you buy something, it doesn't
And
happen.
Zaslav, because he ginned up the price
And
like
the biggest
this.
winner is literally the guy that I've been following this from day one, David Zaslav, the CEO of Warner Bros. Discovery. This, he rebuilt the company in 2005. Made the studio a lot better. It's the #1 studio. Made the streaming service HBO Max the #3. And then he got this. He improved the stock from $7 to $12, and then he got a bid for $18 by the Ellisons, and he says, "You know what? I'm gonna start a bidding war." And he dangled this in front of everybody. He got the price up from 18 to 20 to 25. Amazon was interested. Finally, it comes down to 2, and he wanted 30. People laughed at him, and he got 31.
So does this current deal with Paramount
Evil genius.
coast through with regulatory approval?
The only overlap, I think it does. The only overlap is the studio. The question is, do people think owning 2 studios, do people in the DOJ, Antitrust Division think, or maybe state attorney generals, owning 2 studios, is that anti-competitive? Let's be real clear. Studios are kind of commodities these days. They're not what they used to be, right? The real sort of juice here is in the other products, like a streaming service. That's
Platforms,
the
right.
platforms where you deliver stuff through. So I don't think so. I don't think merging CNBC. I'm talking like I was still working at. See, I used to work there, so it's on my mind. All right. I don't think merging CNN and CBS is a antitrust issue because one is cable, one is regular news.
Right.
They're going to synergize that. By the way, the people at CNN are freaking out, right?
I bet they
I know.
are.
I just know. I don't want to name names. They got all the bold face. They shouldn't be. And here's why. If this deal didn't happen, they would have been spun out with $15 billion in debt. Their stock would be worth $1. Guess what would have happened? Nelson Peltz would have came in and bought it when it hit 50 cents, and basically been an activist shareholder and demand that they get sold to Blackstone. And guess what's going to happen? They all lose their jobs.
Everyone gets gutted.
Because at least here you have the currency, not of Oracle. Remember, everybody thinks this is backed up by Oracle. No, it's backed up by Larry Ellison's net worth. Even if his net worth went down to $100 billion, which back in the old days used to mean he was the richest guy on earth, but not anymore. But anyway, say it goes down to 100, and he says, you know what? I want to throw another $20 billion in here. My money. I'm going to cash out some stock. And by the way, he just doesn't own Oracle stock. He owns other stuff. That's not a fiduciary issue.
But
right?
they're going to face a reckoning.
It's his money. So they're in better shape with his money than they would be with the currency of a stock that is worth, as my grandmother would say, ugats.
But with new management, the people at CNN may not have jobs anyway.
Well,
I mean,
that's
either way,
management.
it's not good.
Well, if they figure out how to be decent television journalists
That's all they
and
want.
worried about their JOBs rather than posturing their phony fugazi morality, then they might actually
just
have
so
a
you know,
job.
for the record, I have a lot of friends over there. But what I want to say is this.
For you.
Okay, no, they're nice people. But and there's some of them are really good journalists. But what I will say is this, is that I don't think ideologically they're going to have that big of a problem. I think the Ellisons literally look at it this way. I swear to God, I think they look at it, we want a news product that's both center-right and center-left. We know this is how they're portraying it. Maybe they're not going to be MAGA-focused. They're going to be right here. And it's going to be, and I think, people like Caitlin Collins, Jake Tapper, I think ultimately they'll do okay.
Hey, deep pockets or the chainsaw of Nelson Peltz?
Well, that's what I'm
These were
saying.
your-
I mean,
right.
Given the
Do you
choice
want to
between the
work for
two.
Nelson Peltz?
All right, we got to go because I got
He's
George,
a nice guy, but you don't want to work.
I know,
Charlie?
chainsaw though.
Charlie, I got George Clooney on the phone to see if he'll play you in this upcoming movie. We got to go so I can take that phone call. Okay?
You know, I was thinking of Russell Crowe, but
Oh, my God.
but he's got to lose some weight.
He's as wide as this desk. He's as wide as this desk now.
Who's
We'll call him
Italian?
up,
Who can
too.
we get? Well, can we get?
All right, Charlie, we got to
Italian
discuss that.
Johnny
break.
Bernthal.
Oh yes,
He looks exactly
Italian.
like
He looks
you.
Italian.